Nile TV. Meyuder Ingomwa. West Nile TV. Meyuder Ingomwa.
It is 9 a.m. East African time. Kokoliriko Live is on West Nile TV. My name is Opingopi Yusuf Andabati, and we are doing this very day today with a guest who is the LC5 chairman of the newly created Terego district. He was previously a councillor in Arua district, local government, and now when Terego became a district, he also contested and became the LC5, the first LC5 chairman for Terego district. Join me to welcome Honorable Saka Wilfred in the studios of West Nile TV. Good morning, you're most welcome.
Good morning, thank you, Auntie Opingopi, and our viewers who attended to us this morning.
Okay, all right. First of all, I want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
This was a very tough journey for you.
It was, but I think all strategies were to make it very simple on my part.
Okay.
And that's how it came. I am always very careful in what I do, right from Arua District Council and up to the NGO world where I strayed when things didn't work out in 2016.
2016 years.
My movements have always been very calculated in what I do. So it was, in my opinion, not that hectic.
Okay.
I knew this would happen. Because if you're using big guns up here, and probably you are weak in the smaller guns. Yes. So I saw this was a war of using big guns. I chose to use the small guns.
The small guns.
Yeah, that's how the victory came.
You must have had a very, strong force behind you. A strong team.
A strong team of locals. I want to say this was a victory ushered in by locals. I did not get any money from outside. It was locals who were sponsored my campaigns in terms of, first of all, the energy they put in these campaigns. Somebody, if you send somebody to go and represent you and he doesn't ask you for money, he's able to deliver the message as it would have come from you, and you even 1 month later you are unable to appreciate this person, but that person still remains stuck with you, very enthusiastic to carry the message forward. I think this was the force that managed this.
After some time, after the downfall of Honorable Cassiano Wadi from Terego, comes Honorable Saka Wilfred on Alliance for National Transformation ticket, the only leader on opposition ticket in Terego, the rest of NRM. What magic play did you use to get this possible?
The magic is not really magic, but it is the strategy to use the poor man's path.
The poor man's path.
Yeah, poor man's path. If you identify with the poor man, and I want to say it is not a new strategy for me. I want to give you a scenario of my life as a district councillor, and also that time I was the chairman of the Social Services Committee. Why I garnered votes in Arua was also because I always stood by the aspirations of the poor man. And what are these aspirations? The basic services that a poor man requires must be made to flow without any stumbling blocks. And this is the work that I want to pride to say we are in for in Arua District Council. And at this juncture, I always pause a bit to reflect on the life of Honorable Hamza Manzu.
Hamza Manzu, yes.
We were the leaders for that fight. You will recall there was a moment the district leadership in Arua had wanted to use PRDP money, which was the only government program doing development or infrastructure development where the poor man would have
benefited.
Maybe projects like water projects, roads projects, and name mention them. Health centers, education, it was to PRDP. But the leadership crafted a scheme. They wanted to make use of this money.
The then leadership of Arua district?
Yeah, okay. They said it was for construction of council complex, when actually behind the curtains they had made a deal to cut some piece and they were going to run around with it. So when we sensed this, we fought it up to the end and we won it. So this has been a long journey for some of us to identify with the cause of the poor man. And this is exactly what saw me through in these elections.
Okay.
Much as all the traps were set and all the weapons were arranged to ensure I should have not made it the helm of the district. But I think the poor man defeated this himself. First of all, I want to assure you, by 6 p.m., the ordinary persons of Terego had tallied their results, they had known the outcome, they had already started celebrating. So the time probably the devil was waking up from sleep, it was a done deal.
Okay.
You know, devil operates at night, and how will you bring the night during the day? It doesn't happen. Light is so powerful that darkness cannot overshadow it during the day.
Some NRM flag bearers were accused of supporting you during the elections, during the campaigns.
Yes.
Was that true?
Even up to now, the accusations there. You see,
Are they supporting you?
the fact that Terego has now gone on its own, this is a journey of self-determination.
Okay.
And when you are going for a journey of self-determination, you leave some of the petty sentiments, petty affiliations of party and so on. You go for the best. And I still strongly believe that is what they saw in me, that I was the strongest and the best candidate out of the candidates who stood.
They didn't look at the party.
They did not. There are those who did not look at the party. At the presidential parliamentary elections, yes, but when it came to the district leadership, they insisted they are going by the best candidate in their estimation. So I have taken that forward. I am in Terego not working for the interest of a party, but for the interest of the people of Terego, who now deserve the best.
Okay.
Because Terego has been offered leadership in Arua, in West Nile for long.
Yeah.
It would be laughable that we go home and we fail. That would be the greatest mistake that should have happened. So because of this, everybody got rallied for this cause, and the support was huge and enormous. And we have continued to work together.
Okay.
We have continued to work together, much as a few from here and there are still stuck in their party affiliations. But for us, as the majority largely, we have agreed we should work as a team, irrespective of parties. And that's why, in a council dominated by NRM, we're able to do things with the least noise that you can hear.
The whole council is dominated by NRM, but the LC5 chairman is not, and things are moving on.
We're moving on.
This must be magic.
We're moving on because we're rallied by a common purpose.
Okay.
To make that place move.
Before you came to the leadership of Terego district, when the district was granted district status, there was some confusion. There was this leadership gap because the interim leadership for the district was not instituted. A lot of blames were fronted left, right, and center. Now, how is it going on?
First of all, that leadership vacuum was deliberately created by some individuals to probably scoop and defraud Terego.
And these individuals are within Terego?
Yeah, some are within Terego, others are outside Terego, but I would say the main brain was in Terego. And for sure they succeeded in that a number of things did not go well, one of which is the fact that the one year that you talk about, Terego was properly unpitted. Visibility was not there. The last 1 year, many people did not know that there is a district called Terego in existence. So the burden now is on me and my team to make the world know that Terego district exists.
And how are you going to do this?
And a number of strategies have been in place. Immediately I came in, I straight away fronted an idea of the district having a website.
Okay.
Which has already been created. I want to take this opportunity to thank the partners, more especially Rice, West Nile, for supporting us in footing the bill for this website. It is active, and it is a website on which we are going to be appreciating all those who are making a contribution to our district. And being my brainchild, I will make sure it does not go inactive. The Netherlands ambassador was here with the huge projects, those groundbreaking functions, all those will make their way onto the website. Any organization that contributes to the cause of the development of that place will be able to appreciate it on the website. And I want to pledge to the people of Terego, this will be very active. And I don't believe in running a district on the traditional methods, that it is a local government, therefore it remains local. We must measure to the modernity and times that we are going through. So that's one way we are going to make Terego known. Two, we want to do our best. We want to do our best in terms of service delivery, and this will speak for itself. For instance, many people knew Terego is in a bush somewhere.
Just somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
Within some mountain.
You will struggle to situate where the headquarters is. But I think I want to pledge in 5 years' time, they will start running there.
Okay.
And good enough, we are working on the bad section of Urukuro, which used to be the stamp.
The Tuf can lost.
They can now go 80 kilometers per hour and access the district waters. All this is to make sure we're accessible and easily accessible.
Within the next 5 years, if your promise does not come to fruition, what happens?
That is certainly it is the most unthinkable, but it may happen that it doesn't come to fruition. If my promise doesn't come to fruition, what do? I will have wasted the people's time for 5 years. So the honorable thing for me is to leave the stage and probably somebody can move that district to another level. And I'm now imagining how this will happen. Because I've just told you, Urukuro that has been, Tufka loss, which has been claiming lives of people, is now getting done. How did this start? When we came on board on the 18th of May, the UNRWA team indicated they were working on this road, the road section from Wandi to Ore. This is to Yumbe, which will stop at Ore because the other side is done by UNRWA Moyo Station.
Moyo Station, yes.
So I invited them for a meeting at the district headquarters on a Saturday because I don't think weekend for us will be weekend. We work on weekends because if you look at the weekdays, there are 5, they are all the time full. So for this kind of meetings, weekends are very ideal. So we sat on the Saturday, and my opinion that time was extremely strong, that the money for that quarter for doing that road should be concentrated to put a 1 kilometer tarmac on Urukuro section.
Okay.
Just like if you have gone to Ajumani, there is a road section between Metu and the Laropi called Chala.
Chala, yes.
Yes, that tarmac. That's what I had wanted to happen on
Urukuro.
So the UNRWA station engineer, Mr. Doe, told the meeting when I raised this, he said, no, the challenge is the road works have already been contracted out. It will be very difficult to reverse it, to accomplish or implement what I had proposed. So we pulled the ropes a bit, but he now said no, what they can do is to write to the ED requesting for a machine called jackhammer. Unfortunately, in the whole country, only one. It is only one.
One jackhammer.
Just one jackhammer. So if you want to use that jackhammer, you have to line up, you queue up district station, UNRWA stations queue up for that jackhammer. And they kept telling us, we have applied.
There's another person, there's another district still.
I remember the time we applied for this, the jackhammer was where it was in Tororo. Then Tororo, from Tororo it came to, this is the machine called jackhammer.
Yeah.
This black thing,
Yeah.
it is heavy like my size.
Okay.
It is my size, but extremely heavy. With the teeth almost this size, with which it crushes a stubborn stone, you see it crumbling. So it was in Tororo, from Tororo it came to Karamoja, it went to Mbichi, I think Hoima, then from Hoima. I kept tracking,
yes.
where has it reached? Where has it reached? So finally, youths, the concerned city residents of Rurua also now started because we stopped them. I told them, if you are now talking of the jackhammer, please don't touch anything on Rurua Hill.
Until the jackhammer comes.
Until it comes, because this was to stop them from saying, we already worked on that section. So when the locals waited for this and it was not forthcoming, they started coalescing and wanted to demonstrate. So one morning they called me and said, Chairman, we are tired of waiting for this jackhammer. We now want to demonstrate and block this road. Said, no, you give me 2 days. I sent a WhatsApp message to the station engineer to say, please, if you don't bring this machine, the locals have now defied me, they want to demonstrate. Can you avoid this embarrassment? So the following day, I received a call around 4 p.m. to say we are now loading it. This was Friday last week. We are now loading it. It might probably arrive there Saturday morning. So Saturday morning, I came to the spot. I found they had just arrived. They were now trying to assemble it to start the works. That's how Urukua was done. And I think with the pace, I really would not want to believe that our pledges will not come to full support.
Okay.
So I think we'll still be around.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
Let's take a break and we shall be coming right back. Kokoliriko live on West Nile TV. My name is Opingo P. Yusuf Andabati, and in the studios I have Honorable Saka Wilfred. He is the LC5 chairman for the newly created Terego district. If you do not know where Terego is located, you should look for Mountain Wati.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be coming right back to have more discussion. Good morning.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from the breather. This is West Nile TV and the Kokoliriko show is live on West Nile TV. You can catch us on Star Times channel 477. I repeat, Star Times channel 477, and you can watch us every day 24/7 without having any glitches. You can as well also catch us on our YouTube channel, West Nile TV. We are on Facebook and we are on Twitter, West Nile TV. We're here, we are lighting the region. We're shining light on Terego district and want to understand what is taking place in that newly created district. Well, a lot of issues here and there. We're having a discussion here with the LC5 chairman, the custodian of the district, this very day today. And Chairman, I want us to want to understand, as Terego, are there some development initiatives, development plans that you're having in place, and where are these going to be located? This is a new district. Let's talk about the market, the main market for the district, where probably revenue can be collected. There are a number of markets. There's Kubala, then there are those ones in Wafa, there's this one of Wandi and stuff. Which one specifically is going to be the main district, the main market for the district? Number two, the hospital. Where is the district hospital going to be? Are all these issues in plan? You already made mention of some roads. I mean, the Urugura road, only one road. What about the community access roads? Are they being worked on? Being a new district, this is just a baby. What baby steps are you putting in place to make sure that it moves in the right direction? Let's start with the market.
Thank you very much, Andrew. You first of all said revenue, local revenue, and I want to take this opportunity also to inform our viewers that as a district, I already brought to the attention of the district council, and they have already taken a position that we are banning commercial charcoal business.
Oh, okay.
That also includes logging. We have totally banned this. And if you look at me, I look a little bit sleepy, but I was last night coordinating efforts of impounding Fusolons. Okay. I have planted my youths. Actually, people say youths are idle, but I'm using them to enforce this. I have planted youths on every road, junction sections that these loggers use.
Are you not stealing somebody's revenue?
You give me information, the vehicle is impounded, you have your small appreciation out of what will come out of this. So I think here, one person is already empowered, some youths are already getting empowered.
Are you not stealing somebody's revenue?
I don't think we will develop that district by destroying the environment. We rather look for plausible alternatives to empower people to survive. That issue of environment should not be livelihood at all. For me, in the long run, and I think I will encourage our people to grow, how do you call Udra in English? Udra?
Reeds?
Yeah, I don't know what name it is. Udra is a better source of firewood that you can sell and get money out of. And secondly, also, livelihood of our people should really be manifested in meaningful agriculture. That's why the Dutch ambassador and the ILO were here. They are going to support us in providing market for cassava and simsim. Some new variety of simsim that is more manufactured than the local.
The one which is already existing.
So I think for me that's the way to go than to destroy the environment, and you think you are developing, and finally you are written off completely, and you start crying of dry season, drought, and famine. And finally, you eat yourself up on your own. So, back to the main question, markets. Kupala remains our biggest market. However, we are making efforts to create more markets, one of which is a market in Leju. The town council is already working on this.
On that market, okay.
Remember, I have a responsibility to supervise all these lower local governments, including the town council.
The town council, okay.
So they are in advanced stages of creating a market within Leju, and I think the planning, we are waiting for the master plan of the district headquarters, which we had wanted to start on our own, but the ministry now has finally come out to say we have some small resource envelope to
draw a master plan for the
master plan for the district. the details I'm not going to discuss them here, but because we are clandestinely doing something to make sure Terego is brought from next financial year to this financial year. The details I'm not going to discuss them from here. So that's our plan for the markets. We'll create more, but of course this will come with the need to streamline the operations of these markets. One, most of the markets in Terego operate in the afternoons and the evenings and in the night.
Yeah.
This must be streamlined to make sure they stop by 6.
Okay.
If the other activities that go on, they should not be market related. By 6, all markets should have stopped. So this is something that we will be doing. You talked about the district hospital.
Yeah.
We still, by law, the existing health center is upgraded to a district status.
Yeah.
This is something that we have already agreed on, and we'll work around the clock to ensure this happens.
And which one is the health center for?
Our health center for is Omugo, which hosts the health sub-district headquarters. And we'll work around the clock to make sure this is done.
Right now, quite some distance from the district headquarters.
Now, let me still develop this case and answer you.
Yeah.
Right now, the challenges are human resource related. We are working around this to make sure it changes face in the very near future. Our service commission list is ready before our public service commission. We're waiting for clearance from them. Once they do this, we want to do massive recruitment of human resources in Terego, irrespective of which cadre we will need, so long as the budget would allow, all those must be recruited in the first year. Our mode of recruitment will not be you are a son of soil, a daughter of the soil. Do you have the brain to push Terego to the promised land? We are working towards the promised land. We have a promised land that we are working towards. So if you exhibit a capacity that you can be a team that will take Terego to this promised land, you have a job in Terego.
Even if the person is Kenyan or Tanzanian or somebody outside?
So long as you have work permit. You remember these foreigners must work in here when they have work permit. So long as you have work permit, we'll give you the job.
And you have the capacity to push Terego to the next level?
That is what we will be going to.
Okay.
The district the district hospital would be a little bit far, but we're also saying, this is a question I posed one time in one of our meetings. Assuming one staff here collapsed, where would be our immediate rescue point? We have a health center too, which is within the Jutan Council. And
that is?
Obofia Health Center too. We will also be building capacity of this health center too.
Okay.
We have already made, the submission is already made to the ministry to have this health center 2 uplifted. Once health center 3, the moment it comes to health center 3, we will make this health center operate as a level 4 health center. Even if the government recognizes it as a health center 2, I mean health center 3. In operation, in terms of operation, it must be a health center 4. And eventually, this must also become a hospital in the future. So that there can be 2 hospitals in the district. Even if we can push many more hospitals in Terego, what's the problem? So long as they are serving the people, the population, and we have the capacity to support them to deliver the services, I think it will not be a problem. In terms of roads, Terego is poorly connected, and I want to say this, that the 1 year Terego has not been a fully fledged district, that it operated under the armpit of Arua. We suffered a lot of loss. The district work plan for Arua 2019/2020 had 3 roads in Terego to be done with Uganda Road Fund. And this was not done? It was not done. These roads are Utumbari, Lubari, Uwafa, Idrayo, or Ejomi, then Uwafa to Obaye. Out of these 3 roads, they selectively went for a road which has only 2.8 kilometers. That's the road they did. The others with the 18, 22 kilometers were abandoned.
And where the money is gone.
I don't know now. That's not my work. That's the work of auditors now to handle. I have raised it severally, and I have not got any feedback. So that is something for somebody else now to do. Even in the 1 year, I want to report, even say here that one of the projects that makes my heart bleed is a general ward constructed in VPL Center 2. 633 million. If you go to that health center, it is not worth occupation. Cracks, these are not only functional cracks, but structural cracks.
This was under Arua district.
Under Arua district.
Okay.
Structural cracks that have developed on every wall.
Was this deliberately done?
I don't know. Either maybe there was no supervision done. I don't know. I don't have any answer to that question. But my concern is districts have technical staff who should be on top of this. If this can have, if a structure like that, superstructure like that can have cracks under the watchful eye of those who are supposed to have intervened, I don't know what answer I can give to your question. So in terms of roads, our roads are bad. We have plans to start working on them. But the unfortunate thing also, again, is our budget for roads has been grossly affected. We had planned to be getting 159 million worth of road fund for working on 3 roads. Those roads which were not done. To our dismay, we only received 55 million.
55 million.
Yeah, which is not enough to do neither of them. Which is not enough to do any of them.
On the community access roads, is there too still on ground in Terego? Are they doing some work?
Now we are talking of Nuri roads.
Nuri roads,
okay. Has now transformed into Nuri.
Not done.
But the same organization, the roads are being done, and we think it is doing a lot of work. Some of the roads we have decided to bring them to as district roads, because increasingly more roads are coming on board. We are facing some roads also to UNRWA, so we should be with the left hand grabbing roads from sub-county, and that's how it happens. The community should also be prepared to identify more roads. That's what is called the road network getting. So we'll be doing these roads, these bad sections. We already in the plans. Okay. We will be doing that small road. It's not enough for the money we're at least fairly put there to cater for Wafa Etomi, but we will still put that 55 million. We had put there 68 million for that road. Not really to do a very good job, but to do some job which makes it motorable. But it is now 55. Of course, this is going to affect the quality, but we will make sure this is done. But unfortunately, this is supposed to be forced on account. Forced on account meaning the district using mostly part of this, using this money for doing the works herself. That required our own road equipment, which we don't have. Unfortunately, one of the things that lack of interim council or administration caused us is in terms of the asset sharing with the mother district. Despite
it wasn't properly handled. Asset sharing
it was not done.
Terego.
It was not done. The Minister for Local Government wrote to say assets should be shared depending on the number of counties in each district. These assets were supposed to be shared between residual Arua and Terego. Aivu no longer was part of the district. Aivu now was part of
the city.
The seed resources for the Ivu County would be from the city, from the municipality, what the municipality used to have.
Yeah.
But somebody somewhere thought he was very wise, and they hid this letter. The guidance from the minister was hidden. And the fact that our team also had no interview. Councillors were operating in a haphazard way on their own. First of all, they were first demoralized, frustrated. So this was not followed. The letter was hidden. The guidance from the minister was hidden. I think the initial plan was that once Terego now is deceived and it goes to Terego, these assets will now be shared here between the city and
the residual one.
But I am very happy. Residual Arua has also now refused to sell this, which to me is now a very good way.
Everyone has lost.
Now losing. Under that arrangement guided by the minister, Terego should have had a road unit that would be used for working on this road with that 55 million. Right now, we now don't have a road unit.
Now that you have known,
we're supposed to depend on the goodwill of, actually now we are supposed to write to Arua Residual to give us, but I'm sure their perception is that the moment this equipment comes, they have 2 units. The moment this equipment comes to Terego, we shall confiscate. We are not like that. If you choose to own everything, we give you. But our zeal is we want to beat you in terms of development.
Now that you have known you were supposed to share assets, what is in your plan?
I raised the matter with the minister in writing, and they told, I remember the state minister for local government, she gave me a call and said, I will seek your letter, but we are first sorting the divisions in Kampala. I remember the time she called, she was in Makinde, I think. That they were sorting Makinde, they would be coming, or inviting each of us, the district leaders, with each one. She told me each one would come with his accounting officer. I'm still waiting for that. I will be reminding her that my fuel is ready in the car waiting for that journey to be accomplished. So that is a challenge.
And are you still going to fight for this, for the assets of Terego?
I will continue to fight.
Do you think they will?
But I don't think I will devote all my energy to do this. It is becoming, it's like also getting overtaken by events. But I want to assure you, without those assets, we're determined to push that place to the promised land. We will do it with the zeal and the help of God.
Let's look at agriculture in Terego.
So
for years,
let me finish on the roads.
Okay, please.
As it stands, we have written to local governments around. Marata is likely to give us, but they have some roads to do. You
are now seeking for help from Maracha instead of seeking for help from Arua to obtain what rightfully belongs to you, according to the minister's directive.
The machines they are broken down and they are not available. So what do we do? And I talked to the Union Serra colleagues. If Maracha is not possible, would they help to Union Serra for this support? And they will be willing to do this. Because right now their machines are doing also the roads, which are our roads. They're doing some sections of the roads. And they have brought more roads to their men to say, this one here, please do them.
Do you think Terego is not being fairly treated?
We don't mind about that now. The devil will be ashamed. I want to tell you, the devil will be ashamed. I don't want to shout about that. Whether it is a plan to frustrate us. You see, God is always on the side of people who are being mistreated. So I don't want to delve so much into that. So in terms of road network, for me, I think it is my priority for the first, second, third year. We have lined up big and major bridges to be done, and one of which must happen this financial year.
Okay. Which bridge is that?
That is the Uru Bridge. Is on Uru. From the district headquarters, they want to run a road from where our land stops, between the district land and the Orivu land.
Yes.
We want to run a road there which becomes permanent border with the locals. And we want that road to go up to Yumbe.
Okay.
So we're already on the work plan. There is a bridge on Uru, because as we speak, one of our parishes cannot be accessed unless you move through 2 districts. You go through Tara, that's in Maratsan, then you go to Adigo in Yumbe, then you come to Duku Parish. So we want to cut a road here direct to Duku. The bridge is already on the work plan, which we should be able to implement this year.
Okay. We
had lined up a good number of them, but 2 more. But the funds are not enough. We have decided to prioritize, and this bridge now is the first. We'll be doing another bridge on River to connect that road to the other bridge we are doing this financial year.
Yeah.
And when you also look at this part of BDF around your area, if they want to access the district headquarters, they first come to Wande. And why, if you want to go to town, why don't you run to Arua? So we want to cut a road for them in the middle there through Okalaka, through Issa. We construct a bridge on Issa, so that they make it through Ahan direct to Leju. So that should be another road and a bridge. It's going to be also a huge bridge in billions. I am happy UNOPS is already doing for us the other bridge connecting Mogo 50 settlement to Ofua, about 4 billion. I passed there yesterday. They already doing the constructions.
Okay.
That is the issue with the roads.
Okay.
Coming to agriculture.
Before you go to agriculture,
yes.
Do you have the money for these roads that you're making mention of? These are billions.
There is no money, and that's my work. That's the work of the LC5 chairman, to mobilize the resources. And in the meetings, I tell the people, I am the chief beggar. I'm the chief beggar for the people for Terego district. So I always tell partners, when you see me coming to your office begging for something, know that the entire Terego population has lined behind me.
Coming to beg.
Coming to beg. Before you make them stand long in the line, please give us what the chairman has come to beg. So I think with the small resources, we should be able to do these things. We should be able to accomplish what we were crying for.
Okay. What is the budget for Terego this year?
Our budget this year is we are standing at 46 point, I don't know how it of yet. 46 point something.
But over 46 billion.
Yeah. So much of this, there is nothing much to celebrate out of this. When you talk about budgets, much of it goes into recurrent expenditure. We are talking about the salaries, the small allowances people have to use, and so on and so on. Much of it goes into this. I want to give you a scenario. Yeah. When we are forming the council committees, the standing committees, a good number of my colleagues thought by saying the education sector is carrying the lion's share, money is in that sector.
Everyone wanted to run there.
Everybody wanted to run there, but only to realize 17 billion of that money is teachers' salary alone. Teachers, first leave alone the staff at the district headquarters. Teachers' salary alone, 17.9 billion. So that was when they started understanding realities of a local government. So much of these billions we are talking about is in salaries.
Okay.
Money to develop that place will come from our good friends. And actually, very soon, I am going to invite sons and daughters of Terego who are elsewhere, even within, into a meeting that I've dubbed the donor mapping and the romancing. You know, Opingo P, you are working with the maybe Minister of Lands. Our question to you would be, where you are working, what is the opportunity for Terego, and how do we access it? Who will be sitting for this kind of meeting? Wow. The sons and daughters of Terego. Wow. Everybody.
And when is this supposed to be?
We were yet to schedule. We're yet to schedule, but I discussed the modalities with the cow already on when was it? Yesterday in the morning, we discussed this. From that, we should be, for me, I see an opportunity where we'll be able to raise money to build that place.
Okay, let's take a break. We shall be coming right back to dive into more discussion. And before we go for break, just to let you know, we'll be talking about the aspect of agriculture in Terego district, and more other issues will be coming through anytime from now. Good morning, stay with us, let's take a breath.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Welcome back from that, brother. This is Kokoliriko live on West Nile TV, and we're discussing Terego district and what is in place in Terego district. I have the LC5 chairman and the man himself, Honorable Saka Wilfred, is here to discuss that with us. Honorable, let's look at the sector of agriculture in Terego. And time immemorial, Terego has been the bucket for tobacco growing in the whole region. Is this still the case? And if this continues, what will be the benefit? What is in plan to probably be able to make the people of Terego grow more food crops and less of this cash crop, tobacco?
Is tobacco still dominant in Terego? The answer is no.
Okay.
But tobacco is still there.
It still exists.
Still there, and even we received another company that wants to sponsor tobacco growing in Terego. I think this adds the number now to 2, and that sector we can't write it off and say it is now obsolete, because we have to go in a phased manner. If we want the tobacco farmers to leave tobacco growing, what should be the alternative? This alternative must first be good. But the new company, when they came to seek our opinion whether they can start work in Terego or not, they were able to tell us they also bring in food crops that they want the farmers to get engaged in. Better variety crops that should not really take long. So that the farmers are both growing tobacco and food crops. Food crops. It should not be like the other type. And we think we can lead them to their basic tobacco business. But increasingly we should be exploring opportunities beyond tobacco.
Okay.
Yeah, ultimately this tobacco business will come to an end on its own. Nobody is going to force it to come to an end, because the moment it becomes less and less lucrative, farmers will see no point continuing to grow tobacco. We, as a district, we work with partners. I can't recall it offhand. About 2 weeks ago, I called all the livelihood and the environment partners in Terego to brainstorm on what should be done. And my explanation to them was, the refugees, they are supporting heavily in terms of cash, in terms of that they are paid, they are giving them cash to improve their livelihood, have no land. Then the locals, they are living out, thinking they are empowered, have no resources. So what do we do? What we can do is integration, meaning the refugee and the host community, especially the landlords, need to come up together. Maybe open up land then that's where partners should be able to support them. And in my own philosophy, I thought this would be able to improve performance, production
Of agriculture.
Just as we started, I told you the Dutch ambassador was in the district, and the discussions are also good in that they are giving money to the UN agencies, including also I think World Bank has a hand in it, to support our people also to do agriculture. And already there is a small factory for producing sunflower oil.
Okay.
This is going to be, for me, the way to go.
Sunflower production.
Yes, sunflower production. It is based at one day. Our challenge is power. The moment this power crosses through Terego, and again, also my challenge with the current power they are trying to put up is that they are putting phase one line, which will not support small industries. Where I intend to even call the executive director there to say we need phase three lines. That can support small scale industries. The moment this happens, I am very optimistic. Issues of people's livelihood will start getting better. Because even right now, I needed the metallic doors for my latrine in the village. I cannot get it locally in Terego. I have to run to Arua. And yet if there was power, these are things the boys could be making locally there and get their small money out of this. So that is what we think in terms of agriculture we should be able to support our people with. As a district, the farmers gave us the land where the district is sitting, 142.3 acres of land, free of charge.
Without paying
any single coin. And it gave me sleepless nights. Farmers have given their land. So must we just say, yes, they have given the land,
and that is
and sit there? No. We are thinking loudly. That's why I quickly said the District Farmers Association should coalesce and they should come and sit near us. We want to be comparing notes and doing things together.
So you're creating an office space for the District Farmers.
They have already come up with their association.
Okay.
They are already seated in
at the district,
a dilapidated structure at the district. But we think in the future we need to construct a big store for farmers.
Okay.
Not only limited to one thing, a store where farmers can, under the District Farmers Association, they can organize themselves, create a corner and say this is for cassava, this is for sim, this is for this, so that they have a gate created for anybody who wants to buy these products to first cross through this gate. That's the challenge our farmers have. If you go to Bugisu and you want to buy coffee, you will never go direct to the farmer. You will go through Bugisu Cooperative Union. And the terms are very clear. And there you expect the farmer to earn a little bit better than when a company goes direct with all that weight and sits on an individual farmer. So the shock will not be absorbed, but the farmer will absorb all this for the shock himself. So we are looking in terms of creating one-stop center or store for farmers at the district to reciprocate the good gesture.
But you do know that the Western Farmers Union offices are in Terego?
Yes.
In Wandi?
Yes.
And how would you create another one independent of that?
It is not West Nile Farmers Union. That one is called West Nile Tobacco Cooperative Union. Okay. It is tobacco related. But we already met with them, District Farmers Association, the West Nile Tobacco Cooperative Union.
Yes.
We already met to see how this can be harmonized.
Okay.
But of course, theirs is yet tobacco. But we are looking beyond tobacco.
Okay.
And you also remember that West Nile Union thing is not only for Terego alone.
It's the whole of West Nile.
Yeah. So we will see how to harmonize, time to time harmonize this. So that for me is what I think will improve the livelihoods of our people. And I hate, much as I told you, I use the poor man's path. I hate leading poor to people who are poor. So that means everything possible should be done to see how livelihood of these people is improved.
Okay, let's look at the aspect of border dispute. For some time now, Terego has, in the past, been in dispute with the neighbors over border issues. There's the Okolo. This was, before Terego became a district, was between Arua district, Terego County, I must say, and Lower Madi. So how has this been resolved? Or there are still pending issues as far as this is concerned?
That problem has been persisting because there was no goodwill to resolve this. None of us, even I said with my counterpart in the Madokolo, Honorable Trump Ismail, that this border thing should not be consuming our energy, that we should have concentrated on development. And the sooner we end this, the better. So, for me, if you also look at what happened, we have been pressurizing to say, let the Ministry of Lands come and resolve this matter. And good enough, they sent the technical staff from the ministry who were on the ground. They already did their part. We are waiting for the formal report from them. From there, I don't think anything is going to change. Already the preliminaries indicate which institutions Terego has ceded to Madi, which institutions Madi has ceded to Terego. We just want the report now to authenticate all this, and we start to work from there.
Has this conflict been caused by the presence of the refugees? The benefit from the presence of the refugees? Because if you look at the history of the conflict, way back when the refugee presence started being, felt in this area, 1992, when the refugees came, and the Yoro issue, and the rest, could that be how the conflict can be traced?
This conflict, one of the reasons is what you have mentioned. One of the reasons is that in general also today, local governments are more yearning to know their borders. Like me, the 5 years I would want my borders as Terego to be established, reaffirmed with all the districts. It is not good for citizens to live in a state of quagmire. They don't know where exactly they lie in terms of, like, if my animals strayed in your field, where I should be sued. So this should be known. There is a village after Utugo Hill.
Yes.
There is a church called If you are going to that church, you first go to Maracha, then come to this church. I picked a boy to go and tell me where to branch. I asked him, which district are you in? He said, when people of Terego come here, they say we're in Terego. People from Maracha, when they come, they say we're in Maracha. So they are confused. So it is now time, certainty must be created among the population that we are leading. So I would be very interested to know exactly where that population is. If the GPS indicates they are in Maracha, so with my brother Obitre, he starts. You see, the problem is the moment the people are in confusion like that, taking services to that place becomes a problem. Because you will think, I will think Obitre will do it, Honorable Obitre will do it from Maracha side, Obitre will think Saka will do it from Terego side. So the population ends up to lose it. So in the 5 years, my struggle will be that I ascertain all my borders so that people are entrusted in my hands are able to get the fair share and deal of the resources of the district. So this for me is what will also eat into part of my energy. But back to the issue of the border with the Madiokolo, I think also The sense I saw that is there are politicians who want to play to the gallery. They know the population they are leading is gullible and they are doing everything to play to them and to say this is a very good leader.
To buy political capital.
Yeah, but it is my disappointment because you are studied to insist we want a map of the colonial time. Maps are never static. Maps keep getting reviewed and updated. The same map, colonial map, they keep getting updated. The time the colonials were demarcating this place, certain features were not there. For instance, now take example of that lower belt where we're scrambling over. There was no Yoruba camp the time the colonials left, but there is a need to situate Yoruba camp on the map of this country. That's what the technical staff of the ministry come when they are reviewing maps, updating maps. That's what they do. Situate that place onto the map. If there is a mining site that has been started, situate it on the map. If there is a new road tarmac, like that road from
The
backwards,
backwards, okay.
which we think should go through Yoruba camp, joins the Yumbe, goes to K, South Sudan. If that road is tarmac, there will be need for the technical staff of Ministry of Lands to situate this new road on the map. That's what they call review and update of the map.
Okay.
So the year of review is what they indicate. So if a map is reading the year 1964, that is still the colonial map, but reviewed and updated. So I think it is bare basics. Some of us, the leaders, either don't understand it or they understand it but sweep it under the carpet to gain political mileage out of this conflict.
Will this conflict ever be resolved? And what should take place to make sure that this is resolved?
That conflict will be resolved.
When?
The coming of the technical staff from the Ministry of Lands, in my opinion, is the beginning of the end of this conflict. One, in Uganda, there is only one authority in charge of borders. And that authority is vested in a person called the Commissioner for Surveys and Mapping. Borders are never determined by elders. The work of elders with their minutes that I always see in the meetings, that they come with, oh, that we sat here, we had agreed the border be there, that is not their mandate. There is a whole department called Department of Mapping and Surveys at the Ministry of Lands.
Which is handled by the government,
yes, by the government,
not by the local.
And they don't use their heads. They use a machine called geopositioning system machine, GPS. So that is the machine used for reaffirming the borders that the Bazoo left. Because the coordinates are there, they're in the air. So this machine brings those coordinates and says the eastings and northings have met here. This is where the border is.
Okay.
Then from here they go to another location, the location the other side, and this one should be able to put a line and say, this other one is this way, this other one is this way.
As we wrap it up, where do you see Terego in the next 10 years?
Terego in the next 10 years, if all goes well, should be a point of attraction for this region. Terego that all roads should be leading to. And we want to invest massively in education. And then that's why every night I pray that Corona should end. Because that for me is what will quickly put Terego on the map of Uganda and world map, the issue of education. We have been known for education and that history must come back. Liberalization of education came and disorganized us, but now it is time for us to coalesce and revamp that glory. Okay. And I think it is possible.
Okay.
Personally, me, I have, for the last 15 years, my background has been management of education.
Even with the NGO you worked?
Yes. The local government, I was the chairman of social services, that is education and health. When I also went to Yumbe to establish that small office, I started alone. Finchurch head office in Yumbe, I started it myself. The second staff came after 1 month. That was another, it was a lady in Toro. Another group came 5 months later. The time I left 52 staff.
52 staff.
Big office. So, also managing education. So, to me, I want to devote much more energy in education. Much as I said, first, second year, third year, priority will be roads and bridges. That will be alongside that COVID number one. And I came back from Kampala last week on Wednesday.
Yeah.
After Tuesday. I was also that side trying to see how there are some common projects that we need to do together. I drafted a letter for my signature and that of my colleague Honorable Obitre of Maracha. There is a bridge between Katini and Kijomoro. UNRWA should come and support us with this bridge. It is going to be huge costs that districts cannot afford. So, for me, I believe in working together with the others.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Working is a victory.
It's my pleasure that you came through and we had this chat. Thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you very much. And I also thank our viewers who should be able to give us feedback. Even if you're not on the TV, they should be able to give us feedback in our offices. And when they have journeys to make, you are moving to Yumbe, you're moving to Moyo via the lower route via Terego, we should be able to visit us. Even if you don't get a cup of tea, but there's this one word.
Some smile.
Blessings.
All right, thank you very much. We had the Honorable LC5 Chairman for Terego District, Honorable Saka Wilfred, a very extended discussion we just had on the, on Terego. We are shining light on Terego District, a very new district, and is the very first LC5 chairman for this district. And so a number of issues came up, very interesting. You can catch us up on our YouTube channel, Western TV. We are also on Star Times, channel 477. You get us right there. On our Facebook page, you can as well get us right there. On Twitter, we are on. And, well, get dressed at Spartan Designs. It is located at Concord Building, room C311. Spartan Designs can dress you appropriately. Good morning. Stay blessed.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, may you dare ingamwa.
Baby, we see, wiki, yeah. We take it easy, yeah. Matata soldiers, rubber band, baby, with a sticky wiki.
I remember it was December, the way na kugamba, kani na kupenda. Baby, kwa karabia dada, alimi hambamba, Got you up, baby, like a pussycat. Do me this and do me that. So slick, like a Bugatti. Like your plan desire.
Make and rent on it, there you done it, girl. For real. The neck could really have a millennial. Make and rent on it, there you done it, girl. For real. Money been the lady, me so sad city wall. We a mini man razumi lembesti, simvesti, baby. Yeah, it is a mini yaletanya, guta mini guletinya DPA. I wanna love you, I wanna make you smile. Baby, don't you cry, I wanna make you fly. I wanna love you, I wanna make you smile. Baby, don't you cry, I wanna make you fly. were dirty. The way you wind that booty, you make me feel like I'm riding a Bugatti. Girl, you were dirty. The way you wind that booty, you make me feel like I'm riding a Bugatti. Oh, stop. Make a drink on it, there you done it, girl. Ternyata kuduria basi millennial. Make a drink on it, there you done it, girl. Money been the lady, me so sad to see the wall. Girl, you know you are nice and tender. Me and you, we could be here forever. Yeah, birds of the same feather, always flock together. Me no Casanova. Baby, I can't deny you took my mind. I swear to you a lie. But this time, me mama fudo, me mama fudo. I wanna love you. I wanna make you smile. Baby, don't you cry. I wanna make you fly. I wanna love you. I wanna make you smile. Baby, don't you cry. I wanna make you fly. Girl, you are dirty. The way you wind that booty, you make me feel like I'm riding a Bugatti. Girl, you are dirty. The way you wind that booty, you make me feel like I'm riding a Bugatti. Ciao. We are many man razu milembesi, simvesi baby. Yeah, it is a mini yaletanya, guta mini guletinya DPA. Job star.
Kuristini, mitoro staberenge ni kuku. Amu love bedle. Aye, Christine baby, le metan de mangopi. Mi boy, Christine baby, le metan de mangopi. Mi aye, Christine baby, le metan de mangopi. Mi boy, Christine baby, le metan de mangopi. Madituru, Andra, Christine mi yoi, Madituru, Andra, Christine mi yoi, Madituru, Andra, Christine mi yoi, ozone mato, etune mave, mi ozone mato, Anote Christine mi tumaraba, raba, Christine mi tumaraba, Dandiyo mi tumaraba, Christine mi tumaraba. Aye, Christine baby, le metan de mangopi. Mi boy, Christine baby, le metan de mangopi. Mi aye, Christine baby, le metan de mangopi. Mi boy, Christine baby, le metan de mangopi. Madiani yolo mami orone di. Aye, Christine. Madiani yolo mami orone di. Aye, Christine way. Yolo mami orone di. Aye, Christine way. Aye, whoa 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 whoa, gengengana yo. Whoa 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 whoa, Christine, gengene misa sinido. Whoa 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 whoa, gengene misa sinido. Aye aye, aye, Christine baby, le metan de mangopi. Mi boy, Christine baby, le metan de mangopi. Mi aye, Christine baby, le metan de mangopi. Mi boy, Christine baby, le metan de mangopi. Mi boy. nilalemi alemi asiadasi bazi choni amawaku bakatwa more yonze manga kira wimini bazi choni amereku ebimimu mavinyadwa bamatukinge ngodi bayange ngodi zamba ale miradayo mimu mavu bamatukinge ngodi bayange ngodi zamba zambe nichera lemi aletelo mijia mavu akwa bakatwa more yonze alete surumani ywa madiati zambe nirami masini aletelo mijia mavule bakatwa more yonze alete surumani ywa madiati
Joshman Perfection.
Nambalu mi my nambalu nambalu mi my nambalu nambalu mi my nambalu nambalu mi my nambalu
La 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 Sanda mani misuzonas Meganda mani mesu malaikani Leta nibudi femaniasi Asian Teka malelele masiadasi Mesu mani masaizi azini Basi dunia erindumi Me feeling love in your heart when I still loving you. I feel love in my heart when you're still loving me. Kateme siku metone luku hiduma itima akwaya vala tika va atwala my love ikamulera tashalu tika hiduma itima kuwale vala tika mimu mabu Nga mipe ya kuwalo Leta disi mazatwate Echika mbe mami manji mandri Yeka mbe mima kwini Mga bini nombe mama kingi Oh baby mima
Nambalo
Nambalo
mi my nambalo
Nambalo ne
Nambalo mi my nambalo
Eba di mitika Kamitika do me yosi Okudila eba di mitika Iba mitika do me yosi Tawanda mani miduzurisi Miswanda mapsende kuya Ile di misende si ambamba Aga mi medira Hoshi anga msende bea Mungu eche yote sini MVD mi vile Mi gare mi vile leo yoya Eko di madwa mudia kupya zidu Nigara edu dida mungoniya Edu chada bada mare Alelumini aledo masiku Adi aliedo andradio Ele di megupisi ambamba Nigara miga kupi deraya Leko di adizadija Adizadi bajonzia
Miringa Robert Miringa Aleni maskini kuya Miringa Robert Miringa Senda de mi vubo Miringa Robert Miringa Aleni tandi nakuya Miringa Robert Miringa Mande de mi osibo
Hello jadi ya
Roma itandire
Ile timboni ya
Iyo zaro luma jonzi
Iyo kolani tamu
Ngolo kuma lumi vuka rodi ndere mbalini
Hai
Ale tedi didami flore
Titi damaku Ile adile ya
Kile lumi anzima tampazu kavinda kurura damke
Matindi baja alwani yu
Kiri kolmaza yorole rizadi madronzenzi
Nane kodi ngarma me kodi marawa
Kodoli maza kiri Ifelma me mulu anzima tampami kudai
Yo me kutas mani antin rawa
Takuta di masiro Robati abandra mitiarum Takuta di masiro Robati meri andra mitikum Takuta di masiro Robati mesu di asaro Takuta di masiro Robati ilo andra vanira
Alanda minimimo adinikum Alanda minimimo aere Alanda minimima kwadizadida te miri andra maku Dia Fatima niri antki Alesa simi alaniku Misa simi take bo ele mani azofe